welcome back to the last episode of our Engl E670 FE, which stands for Founders Edition Special Edition amp. In the last episode, which was breathtaking and gripping and suspenseful, we looked at the clean channel, which isn't really that clean if you wanted to, but it's very clean if you wanted to. Let me reiterate very quickly. I'm gonna go to clean, and that's what it could be. Or you could dial it up. Or you could crank up the gain with the gain push. Yeah, that's the clean with a massive range of tones. But then we went to the crunch channel, which, yeah, can be crunchy if you wanted to. So you crunch it and then... Or you push it with the gain. That's already redonkulous. But if you put a tube screamer in front of it, then this happens. So my question is, why does this amp even have lead channels? Because, I mean, what the crap more do you want is the question, and we're going to answer that question in this video, which is why it's red in the back, because we're going lead. And according to my friend, I call him my friend, and I think I should, Jürgen from Engl, he said, yeah, they're differently voiced, but it's subtle. But if they are very similar, it doesn't matter, because you still have two differently set up gains and trebles and these switches, so you can actually set these up as two different channels, like a high gain rhythm and a high gain lead, with different master volumes and different presences and different depths, which I haven't even, oh my god. And then also you have modern and classic. It's ridiculous. We're going to start with lead 1. Noise gates in, effects loop is on, I'm going to say 1 or 2, probably 2. But the effect is off because you cannot switch the effects loops. The two parallel effects loops cannot be turned off, which is a gripe I have. Get everything centered, which I have to tell you because you can't freaking see that because the knobs have a tiny little red dot on it, which is kind of tough to see. Here we go, lead 1. Definitely picks up where the crunch leaves you with a lot of range if we actually go down here. Yeah, you're of course hearing the Engl 212, which is about $650, which is pretty fair. You do need 7 people to carry it, but if you have those 7 people, it's heavy. This is a good V30 cab with, it's an Engl cab, come on, it's a classic, with a 57 and a MK4 from Sennheiser, which isn't a classic mic for cabs, but that combination is pretty damn good. And that's a condenser, of course, from Sennheiser. So. Let's get the noise gate off. It's kind of neat tone there from the lead channel. It's an Engl. That's not what we want to use it for, obviously. So let's get that up to about here. Push it with the tube screamer because why not? I don't see why you would need a tube screamer with this amp unless you wanted that sound for the tube driver section, because it's not a flabby amp. It doesn't have to be pushed to be leaner. It really doesn't. So. That is, of course, the modern setting. We're going to switch it right there to the classic setting. Yeah, much more mid-focused and dense. You don't have that responsive chuckles anymore, but you have the mid. The highs really poke through on the modern setting, which is kind of what you want for the modern rhythms. Talking about the modern rhythm, we should probably switch guitars before we move on. Before we move on. So English is difficult. We're going massively pink. I'm thinking we're gonna stay massively drop D. Oh my God, this is pink. This is the Ruf Schrödinger Master Series. You can get this puppy for €19.90, including a Hiscox case. It is fully made from carbon, and it is a fantastic guitar loaded with a Sentient and Nazgul from Seymour Duncan, Hipshot locking tuners, magnetic, all carbon. Look at this heel right here. And actually, if you use my coupon code HP10, you're getting, get this, 10% off. So this is about €1,800 plus tax with the case. It's a fantastic modern guitar that I literally cannot get enough of when I play it. So let me tune this. I'm going to say that that classic setting for the lead channels is probably 4 leads because it's beautiful mids and it's a little bit denser and less defined. But for leads, beautiful. For rhythm, I would go with the modern setting. So we are now at about 3 o'clock on the gain. Let's see what the pushy gain does. Actually, I'm going to show you again how to program. We are on the foot switch number 3 right there. So I'm going to write this by pushing the right. Now I'm going to go to 4. Somehow I can copy it. I don't know how. So I'm just going to do the same setting, but with the gain in. And now I should really only see the gain come on and off. We have one thing that changes, which is the gain. And here we go. Both are just fucking fun! Let's do this. We're gonna turn this... No, we're gonna leave this on here. And we're going to hit contour. And now we can hear what that mid push does. If I remember correctly, that's about 400 hertz push. So... For that kind of riffing, you probably want less mids, but of course for a lead, you want that. Let's see what it does with the mid edge. It's a nice way to go A-B this way. That's about, I think, 600 hertz. I think for edge, I would have wanted an edge like maybe 1 or 2K. But again, what they call edge is up to them. So 400 and 600, if we push both of them in, it should be a massive mid hump. And it is. So that for leads, I'm just clicky my little galaxy here. Huh? Now, of course, if you wanted more difference, it's very easy on that one with the mids to go more presence and more volume for a live situation. So different master and different presence. So let's check that out. That's really loud. That's definitely going to be clipping, but just to show you. Or even more different for the lead, you're going to go for the classic. I mean, the permutations here are endless. So that would be your rhythm right here. So that is to say, you can make your sound as harsh and mid-stuffed and mid-pushed as you want by employing, by using the midsies here, and then the classic versus modern, which is also midsies. It's pretty redonkulous. We're going to set up everything the same. And going to go to lead 2. So I'm going to do this, save it, switch over here, lead 2, save it. So all that should change is the leads. if I learned how to use the copy command, that would be much easier, but I can't be bothered. So that is lead 1, that's lead 2. Interesting, interesting. So lead 1 triggers the gate, so the gate is closed. If I go to lead 2, the gate opens. So there has to be something different, even though I'm pretty much set up the same. Okay, let's find out. Yes, very clearly. Lead 2 is heavier in the low end. So I'm thinking lead 2 is either great for thicker, even thicker leads, or for the extended range crowd. If you're playing 8 strings and 7 strings, which we're gonna do, this might be the way to go. Let's go here. What do I know? I don't think lead 2 needs a depth boost, yet we have it. Or the mega low punch, which is happening in the preamp. It's all too much low end, and now we're gonna add it together. Now we're gonna put the Tube Screamer in front of it to get rid of the low end, even though we pushed it, because we're insane. I can't do that stuff. So, yeah, that's what we did. I don't know why. Let's go back to 1. Look at the EQ. That's effective. That presence works. Holy crapola. This is massively flexible in ways that I can't even comprehend. we're gonna give it a test. My Aviator Guitars Warbird from the Pilot series is ultra glassy, has no low end, but it is very, very transparent and a modern gent machine. Can we fatten that up enough? Because it also doesn't really have a lot of output. It's perfect, as you heard in the beginning, for very precise modern metal stuff that I cannot play. But if you can, let's see how much this can sculpt it. It is right now tuned to drop A, which for many of you is still way too tame. Let's tune it again. That's a good guitar, because that was in the cold here for 2 days, and it actually didn't lose its tuning. It's a perfect modern 7-string. Look at it. It's made for my logo colors, matching headstock, wenge in maple, neck with a beautiful volute, hip shot again, the most amazing transition from the neck to the body here. It's an absolutely amazing guitar, but it is, if we go to the clean channel, very glassy. So in that blank, it's a very unique sound. It's the only guitar that I have that does that. But it allows you to do those very attacky modern sounds. So let's see what we can do here. The pickups are also evil when it comes to this kind of thing. So let's see if I can actually get the noise gate to close. No, I can't. Damn, that's fun. We're gonna go mega low punch. Take the mids out a bit. Okay, classic is not the solution here. Depth boost, mega low punch. There's this top-end glassiness that you want to tame a bit. So let's see how we do that. But I want the gain back. Maybe we go to lead 2, because that's even fatter. Now for the leads for this guitar, this would be a pretty horrible sound, but I'm going to save this. I'm going to build a lead sound. And there we go. That should be a lead. Okay, here we got the rhythm. And you want the phaser back in? Okay, we'll do that. Saved. Okay, I'm clearly having too much fun. Honestly, if you tame this beast with the modern and the classic, and you're getting a grip of the switchies with the mids, and the extra gain, and the tube driver, I mean, honestly, guys, I cannot think of a style that this can't do. You put your clone in front of the tube driver. I know it doesn't look like it, but you've got the blues, the jazzes, and everything that you want. The clean channel, use it for anything, including classic rock pushed, the crunch, screaming leads, and all the rhythms you want. The leads for the extended range, for the screaming leads, for the gents, for the metals. I cannot think of something that the Engl E670 Founders Edition, Special Edition, Founders Edition doesn't do. Gripes. Now that we're done with everything, let me put this away. For me, and I know Engl sees this differently, and it's totally fine, it's just a philosophy thing, a perfect amp like this would need a load box and attenuator and possibly an IR out. If you ask me, possibly a 2 notes Captor X stereo IR out like you would have on the revs. They do this, and they know how it's done, but they don't want it on their top-of-the-line models. I understand, but I don't agree. However, I have an aux behind it, and it works fine. You can also mic a cab, but you can put an aux behind it. You can put a Fred power station behind it, any of these things. And if you're in the category of people who afford something like this, you probably have something like this. So, okay. I do not like the shiny knobs. They are pretty and shiny. They're not practical. Shiny knob that is slippery and has a tiny red dot on it. Give me a black dome head with riffles and a very clear white line. Not white line like Vito Bratta. Ha! Mike Tramp, get it? You old folks. No, this looks good, but Engl guys, looks aren't everything. Look at me. There's not much to look at, but I mean the substance. Wow. It's an issue. However, the thing is, I could very easily just buy myself a bunch of dome heads and $50 later or whatever, I'm good, and I just put them on there. So that's something that I want, I can do. And I probably would want to do that. My God, imagine, this is all black. Imagine you had black dome heads on this. How evil that would look. I did that on my, I saw that. My fame something, the one that was the Mr. Hector. I did all black knobs. So the knobs, okay, this is really tiny gripe. Lastly, I already mentioned it, the effects loop, the parallel effects loops can only be switched back and forth. They cannot be turned off. The serial one can be turned on and off. The parallel ones, you switch between them. So if I want it off, I actually have to turn my effect off. I already mentioned that to them, and they said, well, if you want one of them off, don't put an effect in one of them and then the knob becomes an off knob. Yeah, but what if I want my cool, clean sound with a chorus and delay and compressor, whatever, in one, and then a different delay in the other? That's how I would do it. Exactly what I have here, like a modulation in the serial one, and then 2 different time-based effects in the parallel ones. But then I cannot just turn the parallel ones off. An off function would be great. But really, that's all there is. And these are tiny gripes. The knobs you can fix, the effects loop you can't, and you probably have an IR loader and attenuator anyway. Now, in terms of flexibility, with the mids, the extra high, AB for volume and presence is already crazy. This high gain switchable, crazy. The tube driver, which of course has a full EQ and shit in the back right there for pedals. That's all this stuff is insane. Everything times 2 with this little button, going from modern to classic, therefore making it more dense, less defined, more mid-pushed, and just more like a classic amp. The depth push, mega low punch. It's a built-in reverb, which is a fine reverb. What's the competition? Let's talk about this for a second. Not a lot. Soldano SLO clocks in at more, and it's got 2 channels. Well, technically 3. Maybe if you count clean and crunch, but not even close in terms of the flexibility and range. The Soldano is a Soldano. It does the one thing or the 2 thing. But it's a great amp. But not your eierlegende Wollmilchsau, as we say in German, or the Swiss pocket knife kind of a thing. Take this to a studio, and even though it's a behemoth of an amp and it can do all these things, you could do big band, funk, jazz, shred, death metal. It doesn't matter. It'll do it if you can do it. I'm thinking the closest would be the Ref Generator 120 Mark III. Similar price range. You could say, well, Friedman B100 Deluxe, but that's 4,800. I don't know what happened to Friedman's. They shot up in price quite a bit, and nowhere near in terms of the flexibility and features. The Ref has a lot of features: built-in reverb, built-in noise gate, effects loop. It's one of them, not 3. And the Ref has 4 channels, and they're 4 great channels. Good clean channel. No tube driver. Second channel is a crunchy channel, but really more JTM. So very fuzzy, not what the crunch does here. It's a very unique green channel on the Ref. And of course, the Ref has the purple channel, which is the modern, very unique kind of mids, not a lot of low end in the modern gent channel. Can you get the modern gent with this flexibility? Absolutely. They're different amps. The Ref does have the Captor X built in. Again, my gripe, this doesn't. But I'm going to say this is more flexible. The Ref, I would see, it's got a good clean, and it's got a nice drive, but really it is for the heavier guys. And you really see those people using it with your extended range. And it can do other things, but primarily is aimed at the metal people. This probably will be bought by the metal people, but do not sell it short. This top section is phenomenal, and you never have to play metal with this, and this can do so much. I am massively impressed with what this can do. Absolutely. I hope that the sounds were coming through. With the right guitar and the right player, this kicks ass. I've been fidgeting the whole time because I really need to pee. Which means this video is now over. I'll put links below. Please use them. If you want to check out the price, whatever, and then you buy a pack of strings at Sweetwater or at Thomann, please do that, because it helps me, it helps Leslie, it feeds the dogs. It doesn't cost you a thing. If you don't buy anything, that's fine. If you want to get the pink guitar, go to Ruf Guitars, use HP10. I get a 5% kickback. You get 10% off. Why not? Thank you, Engl, for commissioning these videos. If you made it here and you watched all 4 of them, please comment. I watched all 4 of them. I mean, it's not clever, but I mean, it'll tell me that you watched all 4 of them. And in that case, I would love you guys. I love you anyway. Thank you, Engl. You guys are friends, and I love our friendship and loyalty that we've shown each other through the years, and that will stay because Engl was my first big amp, and there will always be one in my studio. Links below. Animals at the end. And now I run to the bathroom. Bye-bye.